Millions of people have lost weight with personalized plans from Noom. Like Evan, who can't stand salads and still lost 50 pounds.
Salads generally for most people are the easy button, right? For me, that wasn't an option. I never really was a salad guy. That's just not who I am. But Noom worked for me.
Get your personalized plan today at Noom.com. Real Noom user compensated to provide their story. In 4 weeks, the typical Noom user can expect to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. Individual results may vary.
Speedway Tavern. Speedway Tavern. Speedway Tavern. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay.
I tried one bite and went out. It was okay, and then the day before we were practicing at Ravitch, and I blew one of my engines up, so I had to borrow an engine off Brady Kurtz, and he said I can ride it. So I tried that in the next 2-minute practice, and it felt quicker. Mm-hmm. So for my first race, we went, yeah, we'll ride that one. I come out, I got a third on it, which is pretty good. And sort of I beat an extra league rider in that race, an extra league junior. So I was over the moon. I was thinking, yeah, that's awesome. And then come out for my second ride. I had a puncture. My clutch slipped off a line, and then it was slipping the whole way around. And then as I come into the third turn, where the track was so long, my clutch burn out, and then and I had to pull in. And then my next race, I jumped on my other bike, got onto the start line, green light went on, and it blew up.
Oh, nice.
And then my next race, I went out and got a puncture. So there wasn't the best.
So hopefully you got rid of all your bad luck in the very first meeting.
Oh, it carries on from there. It carries on.
Do tell.
And then that meeting was sort of over. They were happy because I showed good speed and everything, which they were happy with. It was the first meeting I was in was the team we were against. There was 5 extra league riders in the team, and 2 of them were good riders. But half of them you've never heard of before, mm-hmm. which is sort of really weird. Like we got there, and I looked in the program, and I knew that I knew one rider, and the rest of them I had no clue who they was. And it's weird because you think you always hear the same ones, mm-hmm. and then you never hear of these ones. And I kid you not, some of them are really quick. Like it's crazy. Like you've never heard of them before, and they're quick. And then my second meeting, I think. What was it? Second meeting. Oh, my first home meeting at Ravitch. My 2 engines that I blew up, they've been sent off at this time. I borrowed an engine off. Who was it? Who did I borrow an engine off? Damian Belinsky, which he's been at the club for a while now, and yeah, which is sort of brilliant. And then I did a practice on that one. I jumped straight on it in the meeting. My first rider went 0, and then we changed a couple of bits, went second, which was good. Mm. And then we did some like extensive practice. We practiced like 2 days on the trot at Ravitch, trying to sort of find a good setup. Couldn't really get like anything really because the engines weren't for me. Sort of, I like engines that rev really hard, and I couldn't find anything. We tried everything, couldn't find anything sort of that really worked good for me, especially off the start, where I'm so light. I'm 55 kilos, so I've got to have something that can get me off the start. Mm-hmm. And then my dad's good friends with Jason Doyle, and he has, I think it was 15 engines, and he just bought them all. So he said that he had one for sale, and it will be good for me. and we bought it off him. I went straight into a practice. I did a practice day on it at Legno, and it was brilliant. It was what I've been looking for. What I raced in England. It felt like, and then sort of like it just my next meet. It was sort of it's weird because we race on a Saturday at 11 in the morning, which is absolutely alien.
Yes.
We race at 11 in the morning, and then you've got the Sunday. We wash the bikes when we come back because there's nothing really else to do. We wash the bikes on the Saturday, put them back together on the Sunday. Nothing Monday, Tuesday practice, Wednesday practice, maybe practice Thursday if they want you to, and then clean the bikes ready for the Saturday again. And then I practiced on the Tuesday on it and had all this whole week to think about, sort of hope that I got my other engines back, and it didn't really happen. So I obviously managed to get this one off Doyley, and jumped on it at my next home meeting at Ravitch. Did the same. I went. I tried the club engine again in my first race. Got a 0. Because in the practice I clocked a quicker time on the Legno engine that the team had given me. I clocked a quicker time, so we said, yeah, we'll go with that one. And I went out on my first one, couldn't get it off the start, and sort of was annoyed. In my head, I knew I should have ridden the Doyley's one. Got on Doyley's one and went second, and then we changed something else, and then I went out and me and Bartosz Smektala had a 5-1. So yeah, I beat Bartosz Smektala. I was pretty proud of myself for that one, even though he was in my team. When I come back in, he said he couldn't catch me, and I was pulling away.
And it's coming back again.
So that was sort of like a big confidence booster, and then I went back out. So yeah, it was. I'm just loving it here. It's really fun.
So yeah, it's obviously very different to what you're used to in this country.
Yeah,
much more,
100%.
Much more of a professional sport, from the sounds of it.
I think it's good. It's really good as well for you, Anders, that you've been able to get some racing time as well, because this year was really shaping up to be a big year for you. I mean, you obviously signed terms with Somerset, and also, of course, you were going to make your top flight debut with Swindon. So 2020 looked like, to all intents and purposes, like it was going to be a good chance for you to really kick on and take that next step in your career. Yeah,
definitely. It's sort of when we got the offer from Legno, it was a no-brainer, because really, in theory, I would have been missing a whole season of racing, especially at 18. I need to be on the bike all the time. And one of the management people at Legno did some research into me and said I was the 8th busiest rider in the world last year. I did 87 meetings or something like that, they said.
Wow.
So, and that was just in the UK. I'd never even ridden out of the UK from until now. So that's just in National League and Premiership. So I did 87 meetings, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, you earned your money.
And what's it like being part of a team of riders that you've never heard of before and that you don't know? Have they all welcomed you? How has that been?
Yeah, it's been really good. Obviously, like where at the track where my workshop's in Legno, and all the Legno riders except from Pavlicki and Emil, their workshops are all there as well. So there's always riders there, and like there's Smektala, there's Kolodze, there's Keenan Rowe, which is a Aussie lad that's in Ravitch team, which he's doing the same as me. There's Jamin Lindsay, there's Cabrera, there's Slauderbach, there's Damien Belinsky, and yeah, Damien's been awesome to me. He knew what he's seen. I was struggling, and he gave me an engine to use. So yeah, most riders would not do no riders would do that normally, like give you an engine. So it's like, yeah, it's really good here, and like anything that you need help with. Obviously, we didn't know where to get any like parts because I broke in practice as well. I broke a back end. I had a puncture, and we didn't know where to get any parts from. So we ordered it with some of the riders that order parts from Lesno, and it's just it's just helping. Like if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't know where to buy anything. It just it's crazy how much it actually helps you.
And aside from the Speedway, how's life for you in Poland itself?
Yeah, it's good. I like it. It's definitely different.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you've not got like you're not at home where like it's an apartment. It's a really nice apartment and everything. But it's not home. But it's sort of it is what it is. You've got to do what you've got to do. And but no, when we got here, we bought 2 push bikes. My dad's come over here for the time we're here. So because I was going to come out here on my own, but I'm happy I didn't, because the first 3 weeks that we had all them problems, I would have proper struggled. So that was like a big thing. He gave up his job to come out here with me, basically 3 months. So yeah, he's given up to come out here, and he likes it, but he's missing everyone at home and stuff. And yeah, but so am I. But it's sort of he's doing it to benefit me, and yeah, it's paying off big time. You could even in my riding, I can feel a big difference in my riding. The way my style has changed completely coming here.
Okay.
What it was in England.
And I can hear from your voice a tremendous amount of sort of confidence that this has given you. Would that be right?
Yeah, definitely.
Have we got any stuff on the shout box?
Most people just listening, but just at the beginning, the software decided to update. Can you believe it?
I told you not to press that button, didn't I?
I've been on this all day.
See that big red button? Don't ever press that one again, all right?
Absolutely.
Well, okay. Have we got any questions?
Well, Jim says, thank you, Specsavers. I can hear now. And I can't get to the other comments now because they've disappeared.
Okay, well, we will plod along. I would imagine, Anders, I mean, you spoke about the sheer size of that one track, and it really impressed you. I would imagine you're using gearings on your bike that you've never seen before in England.
Yeah. Well, we come in with English stuff. I bring my 2 English bikes here, and I turned up, and the smallest sprocket I had was a 54. So we turned up to Ravitch, and Ravitch is smaller than Somerset, but they're running 52s, 53s, which are really small. In England, you don't go below a 55,
right?
Maybe a 54. So sort of, we come here, and I come here, and I had on my sprocket pile, I had a 64 on, and Simon Sladback was looking through them. He picked this one out and went, "What's this? Oh, that's for Mildenhall. That one's for Mildenhall." And he couldn't believe how big they were. So I had to. He lent me some sprockets to use, which go down to 48, which is like crazy. So yeah, it's just sort of it's another that he helped me out there again. If not, I would have had to buy them. And yeah.
And I guess the upshot of those smaller sprockets is 2 things, I guess. I mean, obviously, you're going to be travelling faster than you have done before on that bike. And I imagine it's all then about building momentum up much more as you go around. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because sort of in England, you use big sprockets, and with my weight and the starts are grippy and stuff, I can get off a line awesome. My gain's pretty good. But here the starts are slick, and you're running on a smaller sprocket, so you've got to like rev the bike on the rev limiter, and then drop the clutch, and then it sort of dies and then builds back up again. obviously it's quite hard with me being so light. In my head in England, I normally don't use very much throttle, and it normally gets me off the start.
Right.
Yeah.
But here, where there's such a small sprocket, you've got to rev it just to get it moving, which is, I've had to learn all of that. I've had to move my body back I've had to change my whole body position on the start to get me off the starts. And it's just sort of, it's learning that you can't just do that like in one practice. You've got to repeat it over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, because it's getting rid of old habits, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, me being me, I like to do. Like, I mean, when I come here, I was in my comfort zone of my English style, which is up the front of the bike, down the straight, up the front of it. And I did the first practice, and they went, "You need to sit back. You need to sit back, and you'll be flying." I sat back, and it was brilliant. And then I can't get off the back of the seat now. I can't keep forward. I'm always on the back of it. So, well, even coming in the corners, I'm right over the left of it and on the back of the seat. And it's, yeah. But like you said, you've got to keep it in momentum. If you pull a locker, you would have lost like maybe 3 or 4 bike lengths. And that's like, to get it back going again, it's just crazy. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine it's a little bit like going up a hill when you've got the wrong gear in your car.
Just a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've all done that, haven't we? So.
Well, yes, you more than most, I understand.
Yes, yes, probably, yes. I mean, obviously, another thing, Anders, of course, I mean, I think you got a few appearances for the GP squad last year as well. So, of course, the under-21s, of course, going over to Denmark at the weekend. So I'm sure you'll be keeping a close tabs on that. But I mean, how are you finding the GB setup at the moment? Because there's a lot of investment and a lot of work gone into it in the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Obviously, last year I did the Great Britain versus Denmark meeting at King's Lynn at the end of the year, and that just topped my season off. That did when I got the call to do it. I finished the season on a really good big high. I obviously finished the season at number 2 for Somerset, and I was scoring really good points. And then to go there and scored what I did from, I went there, no expectations, go out last meet in the year and have fun. I won the thing at Scunthorpe the couple of days before, and I was just going there knowing that I can go there. Yeah, that's it. I was going to say pairs, but I was thinking, no, that's not it. I was going there with confidence, knowing that I really like King's Lynn, and that I can really do something. And pretty happy with what I did there. And then obviously in the winter we did all the training camps with Team GB and stuff, which is brilliant. Just sort of proved how like fit you've got to be, and sort of I was pretty fit. I was thinking, and I was. So that was. I've been in the winter. I was training every day of the week, maybe 2-3 hours a day, maybe even 4, just to make sure I'm on top of my game for when we went to these training camps. And I was pretty happy with how it went. And we also did the No Limits what they called gym days at Loughborough, which are brilliant. It was sort of all building up to this season, and then obviously we didn't get going. But obviously now a lot of the GB rounds GB events are going, and I was asked to do the under-19 British one, and this one coming for Denmark this weekend. But I would have loved to have done them, but I just could not do them because I couldn't do them from home in England because I've got all my kit here. I've got one bike at home, and it wouldn't be good to turn up with one bike. And all my engines are here. My English stuff, like English engines, would be no good for here, which we figured that out pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then, it was sort of, I wanted to do them, but we couldn't because I share a van with another rider from Ravitch. So it's not like we could have gone, we're having the van, we're going to the Denmark meeting, and you're going to have to find your own way there, because it's, and we got a meeting where the meeting that Denmark's on the Saturday, and we've got a meeting 7 hours the other way, from 7 hours from Lejno in the complete opposite direction of Denmark,
right?
On the Friday. So then we would have to, we did plan this out, because the meeting on the Friday was on the Sunday. So we would go, it's 14 hours from Lejno to Denmark, and then we would just drive straight through the night from Denmark straight to this meeting, and we should make it. But we looked at it like logistically, and it wasn't happening. Yeah. So
I think you've probably made the right decision there. So.
We did try, because I sort of, the Danish tracks are like what I sort of like. They're quite grippy, and they're sort of the tracks that I like.
But it is interesting, isn't it, that I think that there are quite a lot at the moment of up and coming British riders. It sort of augurs well for the future, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. It should be a good future. I've seen a couple of videos from the British youth, and a couple of them 250s are going for it, I tell you. They're really going for it. I think I've seen one the yesterday or today or something, and they were sort of like, they were proper racing each other, giving each other elbows, and I was thinking, fair play. Yeah. Fair play. It's sort of when I was that age, it was sort of never like that. It was sort of all lot of sort of gate and go, but they're proper racing for it now, and it's good to see. Because over here, they've got some quick young kids. They have got some quick young kids on 250s. Lejno have got a good band of young kids coming through, and on a Monday they've been on school holiday at home because of COVID and stuff, and every Monday they're at Lejno from 4 till 7. And then they practice at Ravitch with us on the Wednesday and the Thursday. And then they help us, like they're always with us. There's a big workshop at Lejno for their bikes and stuff. They wash with us and help us and stuff. And on the Monday, we come down and sort of watch and sort of help them sort of like with bits and bobs, like pushing them off and stuff. Because Lejno provide all the bikes for them. And
this is what we've got to compete with. Absolutely. This is what we've got to compete with.
Are crazy. There's a 9-year-old kid. He's on a 500 and he's quick. He's really quick. There's 250. There's a 250 rider. He's really small. They've had to mod the bike so he can fit on it, and he's beaten some of the 15, 16-year-olds on 250s.
That's crazy.
And he's like, it's unbelievable how quick he is for his age. And over here they have to do the license. To get a license in England, you've got to pay your money and get a license, which is brilliant. Over here, it's more like a car test. You've got to read bits off the rule book. You've got to do. I was asking him the other day. You got to do 4 races, and you cannot have engine failures. You cannot fall off. It doesn't matter what place you come, as long as you finish the race.
Wow.
And you're competent on the bike, you get a license. That's great. Which is good, because it's good to see they're doing that system here, because you don't have any old person coming in at, say, like National League level, not knowing how to lay a bike down, not knowing how to turn a bike.
Anders, we've got a few questions for you. First one from Craig Smee. He says, Anders, what have you learnt in Poland? Do you think it will improve you massively when you race in the UK again? And do you think you are a better rider now as a result?
Yeah, I've learnt loads. It feels like I've learnt a whole new style of riding, just from doing laps, even at my home track Ravitch. It's smaller than some of the tracks in the UK, but you ride it totally different. You're on the back of the seat, arms locked straight until you tip into the corner. And they're not, I wouldn't say, some tracks over here are really smooth and some are quite rough. So sort of the rough ones, I'm loving the rough. Every bump that I see, I'm hitting it. And because it just sort of helps you sort of like with a bit of drive because the tracks are quite slick. But yeah, I've learned a totally different riding style, even to do with like how much I push on my right leg and like taking my right leg off the foot peg coming out the turns sometimes. What else? Even like dropping like tire pressures and stuff. Just to get a bit more extra grip and setting the bike up differently to what I would the UK. Yes, really, I've learned loads.
Another question here. This one's from, I'm going to try, Watch Tech. It's a pity the season's so short. Yeah, might be. It's a pity the season's so short. Polish Division 2 is already halfway through its campaign. Any prospects for Anders to get some additional racing this season?
Yeah, it's sort of the second division. I think it's 10 meetings. It's 10 meetings, but it's not like one after the other. They're spread out in this COVID situation. They're spread out one every like weekend, but every Saturday or Sunday, so they don't clash with the Lesno meetings, which is good, obviously, because most of the people that come to work do the track at Ravitch, do Lesno. So it's sort of, they've got to work around that, and it's 10 meetings, which doesn't seem a lot compared to my 87 or 88, whatever I did last year. But if I didn't do this, I wouldn't have. I would have done a couple of GB matches, and that's it. But I wouldn't be doing the practicing I'm doing here now. We're practicing 2-3 times a week, so it's just even the practicing. Even if I didn't race here, even the practicing's making me a better rider. But I mean, I think we've got another 6 meetings left, which is, it should be good.
I think that's the big advantage really with Poland, isn't it? Because they've got more access to tracks to be able to practice than they have in the UK, which I think is a frustration for a lot of British riders that they can't really get the track time in the UK to practice because we're all sort of bound by regulations to when people can and can't get on the track, unfortunately. So that's that's got to be an advantage that yourself and maybe some other riders will be looking at taking advantage of this if having listened to what you said, Anders.
Yeah, definitely. It's sort of, but it's over here. It's so tough to get in. Sort of, I'm not lucky. It's sort of, I ride for Swindon and I've been good friends with Roscoe and my dad, and as soon as the opportunity come up, it's like, do you want to do it? Yeah, 100% I'm in, because we knew how big of an opportunity it would be for me. And obviously I've signed a 3-year deal with Unia Lesno, so as soon as I'm good enough to ride in the extra league, and obviously that's maybe 2-3 years time, I'm hoping the same as sort of, they've set me on a plan like Jamie Lindsay's done. He done 2 seasons at Ravitch, and then his 3rd year he's racing for Unia Lesno, and he's killing it.
I'm not sure whether Simon's agreeing with your last comment, but he asks, how more professional are the Polish youngsters to the riders in the UK? I know we touched on this earlier, didn't we?
I don't know. They've got big vans, I can tell you that.
It's all about the big van.
No, it's sort of, I would say it's just as professional as maybe the youngsters, but obviously the youngsters here are watching every week the best riders in the world, and they're mixing in with the best riders in the world. Like you're getting the juniors that are riding on a Monday, they're down every day. They're not score every time. Say they finish score at 3:00, by 3:30 they're at the stadium helping someone do something, even helping wash stuff, walking to go and hang your bike covers up. They're always there watching, milling around, being like like being helpful. And you can tell just by that even though they may not be doing much, their eyes are always doing something, and they're always learning. They're learning different things off different riders, which is a big thing. In the UK, you do your meeting, you put your bikes in your van, and you go back to your house, for instance, wash your bikes, get ready for the next meeting. Where here, you do your meeting, you go back to the track, to your workshops, and there's loads of different riders. There's different people, sort of. Yeah, there's always different people there doing stuff, and they're always sort of watching you.
Yeah. Stephen Finley says he's loving your positivity, and he says, sorry late to join, so sorry if you have discussed this already, but noticed Dilger took your place last weekend. Are you under pressure already?
No, we had when we did the deal, it was I had to miss one meeting out of the 10 meetings, because now Uni and Lejno are in the playoffs. Smektala, Jamond and Simon Staudevac are not allowed to race for Ravitch, because in case they get injured. So I had to miss one meeting for Max Dilger to come in. So he can, so he can get named in, like ridden in the lineup to be put in for the next meeting. So one of them missed, and the same with Damian Belinsky. He had to miss that meeting as well for another Polish rider to come in to be named in the squad. Say, so when Simon Slauderbach and all that, Jamond and Smektala go, then they take their spots and I have mine back. So it was in the agreement when I signed that I'm going to have to miss one meeting, which I was sort of not. It was sort of, it is what it is, and it had to be done if we wanted to do the rest of the 9-10 meetings. So missing one doesn't hurt at all. I was there anyway, watching, learning. So sort of, I knew I was going to have to miss one meeting to Max or another rider, and but I mean, this weekend we go to some trail, I don't know what it's called, but that is
it's good.
7 hours some other place, some other way, and apparently it's even bigger than the first track I went to. So
I'm getting the sense that Poland's quite a big country. I mean, we don't really understand.
No, and all I've seen is tolls,
Right.
toll bridges everywhere. Every like, if you go out to Lejno, the 20 minutes down the road, there's a toll bridge. There's a toll bridge. There's a toll bridge everywhere. But it's sort of even like just traveling, like it feels like you're in a van for so much longer, but you're doing this, like going to Glasgow feels easy.
Right.
Like Swindon to Glasgow feels like a breeze, easy.
That's never been said before.
It feels like it never ends. It just feels like you're on the same road the whole way.
I think that's why so many Australian riders ride for Scottish teams, by the way, because the distance doesn't worry them, because the distances they have to travel in Australia are ridiculous.
And Simon's just said, how can the UK compete with this?
Well, the short answer is we can't at the moment.
At the moment, no.
At the moment, you can't. If you Lejno now, and I'm not sure about other clubs, but if you wanted to, you can ride every day of the week. You can ride Monday, Tuesday, every day. There's you'll turn up one day without anyone knowing, and one random rider will be riding. Just any old rider will be practicing. I
think it's the difference between Speedway in this country is sort of a secret sport. And in Poland, it's the sport.
Well, it's their top sport, isn't it? So it has been for many years.
That's the difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, they still quite like the football. Is it just that Polish people just like sport?
Yeah, but it's Poland. What can I say? I mean, Speedway is. I mean, it's like they play football in New Zealand, but rugby is the thing.
Yep.
you know, they play football in Australia, but cricket's the thing, and rugby as well, I suppose.
And Australian rules. I think Australian
Yeah,
rules.
Aussie rules, yep.
In this country, football's king.
Yeah.
We understand that.
I understand. Had it not been for, I hope I get this right.
I hope you don't.
Rowe, right?
Just ask.
Okay, I understand it. Had it not been for Rowe this year, Anders would be forced to sit out 2020. Does he think he will be able to resume his career after missing a whole year?
Well, he hasn't missed a year, though, has he?
I'm asking the question.
Should have read that really before.
Yeah.
I can answer that one. Yeah, with obviously, if I didn't come to Ravitch this year, with Lejno or anything, I had another team that wanted me in Poland anyway. So if I didn't get signed by Lejno, I would have had that other team. But yeah, I'm well happy I signed with Lejno there. They're brilliant.
So, I mean, it's a great situation that you're in. Why is it always proven difficult for British riders to get into Poland?
It is like even the first 3 weeks. If every Brit's first 3 weeks are like mine, then I'm not surprised. It was just crazy. Like you get there. We off the flight. We went and met the owner of Lejno and everything, and then they dropped us off at our apartment, and then we sort of got our bearings, found the track. It took us the track's probably a 10-minute walk from us. On push bikes, it's like a 2-minute ride. It took me and my dad about 2 hours just to try and find the track. Right. And the only reason we found the track was we looked up in the sky and there was massive lights, and we went, right, that's got to be either a football stadium or the track. So we're going for that one. And we were walking around this house in the state, and there's like big block of flats for ages looking for this entrance. And then I think it was one of Brady's mechanics drove past, and always like, right, that's Brady's van, just follow the van. And then we found our way in, and yeah, we found where our bikes was and everything. And it was it's difficult, but then when you get used to everything and you sort of get your bearings and everything, it's easy. It's get up every morning, go to the track, do whatever you got to do. Either like tomorrow, I'm going. There's a park shop in Lejno that I'm going to tomorrow morning to sort some bits out for next year on some parts and for England. And then at 4:00, we've got a practice at Lejno ready for the weekend. So yeah, try some bits, and then we'll finish the practice and wheel the bikes back down the ramp, straight to the wash bay, wash them, back in the workshop, rebuild them, and go home.
Wow.
It sounds an easy life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds as though you're really enjoying it anyway. That's
the most important thing, isn't it? So
that's coming over loud and clear. Anders, I've just looked at the time. It's 10:09, and we haven't even talked about the GPs yet, which we really should do. But it's been really, really, really interesting listening to the life of a speedway rider in Poland. It's been fantastic. Thank you so much for that, Anders. And
no problem.
Good luck to you on your adventure.
Thank you.
We're gonna sort of change tack a little bit now and talk about the GPs. You're quite welcome to join in if you want to.
Before he does that, it might be a good idea if he mentions his sponsors.
Yes, I was coming to that. Yeah. Would you like to give your sponsors a mention?
Yeah, obviously I can't thank them enough for what they've done. It's sort of, when I told a lot of them, they were over the moon for me. And it's sort of, they like I said, go out there and have fun and grab the opportunity with both hands. And also, I want to thank my family, my mum that's at home, and my whole family, really, my sister and everyone that's sort of helped me. Without them, it wouldn't be possible, and especially without my dad. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. So I or not, wouldn't be here, it wouldn't be as easy, because obviously I would be on my own and everything. But I can't thank them enough, and hopefully I can bring back some big points.
Absolutely. Well, as I say, thanks so much for coming on. And if you want to carry on and while we're talking about the GPs and put your tuppence worth in, you are more than welcome.
We talking about tyres?
We might well be talking about tyres. Have you got any inside information about these newfangled tyres?
Tried to get some, couldn't get any.
There was a deadline or something, wasn't there? I think so.
Well, that's for the GP riders.
We're watching. We can't get any English commentary on the Polish TV, so we're learning Polish.
Okay.
But yeah, it's sort of when we were watching the first GP, there was a couple of riders. Obviously, Laguta was fast, and so was Magic, and then they obviously got the top 2 podium, and they were on it, but also other riders were on them as well. You had Everson on them and a couple of other riders, and they didn't get on the podiums, and but obviously the second day, I don't think it really mattered what tyres you had on.
That was going to be my next question.
Magic was quick, but then look at what's his name? Gleb Chuganov. He had Midas on, and he was quick.
He impressed me.
He was impressive.
Same. I think if he didn't lift in that last one, he would have definitely been in the semi-finals.
Yes, absolutely.
He would have definitely probably been in the final as well, if I'm honest. But yeah, you sort of, I don't think it really mattered what tyre you had on in that day. If you made the start and had a quick engine, you were away. Just look at Ty. He was on Midas tyres and he made it in the top 3. So
he was fast, wasn't he? But
just couldn't get the start,
especially at the end of the straights.
Yeah, wasn't getting out the starts there, which is something that happened to him a little bit last year as well. But it
is a little bit.
It's quite unusual. Ty's usually really not one of the fastest.
Before, I think looking at him, he looked like he'd been taking gating lessons from Peter Carlson, to be honest, because his gating was never the greatest, to be honest. But I think the other big thing about the GPs over the first 2 GPs, Anders, and it'd be interesting to get your views on this, was the change to the point scoring system, because it's not gone down well with a lot of people. Personally, I don't like it. I thought what they had before was fine.
Difference of opinion in the studio, because I quite like it. But what's your opinion?
It definitely mixes it up a bit. I think it's if you're a home rider like Ty and Magic and that there and Claire, they've all got the setup, so they go in there knowing that you run this and this. But then you've also got to think, say Emil Sayfudinov, he's ridden there in the league a week before, so he should have the setup as well. But it's most of the riders are in the extra league, so they should all have the setup there and thereabout. But like I think Ty said in one of the interviews, the track's totally different to what it is on a league meeting. So it's sort of, it is a fair play. It's a fair like field. But I think maybe a qualifier like they did last year, where you have maybe a 2-minute as quick as you can, see what time you get, and that's the race like you go off. I like that last year, which was it's pretty good.
Was you surprised to see? I think it was Artem, wasn't it, in the second GP that in the semi-final he went from gate 3?
Yeah, I was a bit surprised by that.
And particularly after they'd watered the track, that seemed a strange decision. What do you think, Anders? Was that a strange one for you?
Oh, come out! Did you hear that one?
Did you hear that, Anders?
No, I didn't. Sorry.
So Artem Laguta, he chose gate 3 in the semi-final and in the second GP, and I mean, we was thinking that's a bit strange.
Yeah. I'm not really too sure, to be honest, but all I can say, it was quick.
But he wasn't quick in that one, though, was it? Because
no, true.
Which is
I think it's all on preference, really. Maybe I'm not sure. I can't remember. Maybe the race, a couple of races before, I think he went off gate 3 and he won. So it's all on preference, really. Like if you had a good race off that gate and you feel confident on that gate, that you can make a good one, then I've done it. Go for the gate, and if it works, it works. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But in your head, if you think in your head that gate is good, then go with what you think. So yeah.
I mean, I think to be fair to them, I think they overwatered the track a little bit, didn't they? And
possibly they could argue that,
that sort of negated that gate, the outside line.
I mean, in fairness, the two meetings were won by the best two riders. There's eight about that. I mean, Laguta looked really quick on the first one there. You know, and I think one of the criticisms of Laguta has been that he's quick out the start, but not so quick when he gets caught up in a little bit of traffic.
Which he did show that a little bit in the second GP.
And obviously, Magic, well, he knows that track like the back of his hand, doesn't he? So I mean, he was always going to be a big, serious contender in that meeting.
Is it too early to say that Bartok Smarzlek is not going to be a two-time world champion this year?
Doesn't look as quick, does he, to be honest?
No, he doesn't.
He got better as the second meeting went on, I think.
Somebody who I thought surprised me with lack of pace was Emil.
In the second one, yeah, he got to the semi-finals in the
first
one, yeah, but was very. I think he only scored 5 points in the second one.
Almost looked uninterested.
Maybe a little bit, yeah. I don't know whether all the controversy with the tyres maybe affected him.
But, so, I mean, the top three at the moment is Magic, Artem Laguta, and Ty Woffington, and Ty seems to be. I think he's treating this. It doesn't really matter whether I win a GP. If he's there, if he's in making finals, he's in with a shout.
Absolutely.
The new scoring system.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of frustration from Ty, isn't it? Because he'd had such a fantastic season in 2018, and then last year just never really got going.
No.
I mean, I was at Cardiff, and he just seemed so low at Cardiff. Because that was the one GP. I think he was.
He's desperate.
He was desperate. He hasn't won that. Obviously. I think wonder whether Chris Harris ever says to him, "I've got something that you've got." I
think Chris Harris would probably swap that for 3 world titles. So,
do you think he would?
Yeah, I think he probably wouldn't you? 3 world titles.
I probably would.
The only British rider to do 3 world titles, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So. And he's not Australian like some people like to claim he is.
He rides with a Union Jack on his bike. That'll do for me. Actually, talking about finals, and you obviously have heard the news that fingers crossed we're going to get a British final this year. Do you think that's something you might be involved in? Would you want to be involved in it?
Yeah, I would love to be involved in the British final, which is, I would love to, but I think you're going to see more of the riders that are normally in it. Sort of, obviously, you've got your Rory Schleins and sort of the riders that have been there for a while that I think they're going to do it. But yeah, I would love to be involved in it, and yeah, I've only ever ridden Ipswich once, so if I could get the chance to ride there again, it'll be brilliant, because I know then for a bit more confidence when I go there in the league, hopefully next year, all being well, COVID sort of died off by then, hopefully.
Oh God, yes, please.
Yeah, yes, please. I don't like wearing face masks. So yeah, hopefully I can get the chance to do it, and that'll be brilliant. Obviously, it's sort of, you never know what I could do. I could make 5 starts, and you never know. So it's all on the night. So,
you think back to that night with Danny Ayres. I mean, I would say that you're at the level that Danny was then, so easily. So I'd love to see it. Very different sort of track to what you're doing at the moment. Well. Yeah, a very different track to. I think you need to
sitting on the airbags.
I think you need to get a few of your cogs back for that one. Yeah. Right, wow. Okay, that's the time.
It sure is.
We'll just say very quickly, good luck to the under-21s, of course, on
yes,
at the weekend.
Absolutely.
Of course, in the World Championship final. Poland and Latvia. Of course, good news that Tom Brennan and Dan Bewley both declared themselves fit as well. So
yes,
to arrive. So hopefully we can get a third successive season of getting a medal. It'd be nice if we could get the gold one, but it's going to be tough, I think.
Good luck this weekend to this track that you can't pronounce. That's 7 hours away.
I did try and find what it's called, but I give up.
Yeah, mate, we wish you the best.
Thank you.
And just keep up the good work, and hopefully we'll have you on the Speedway Tavern again. You have been absolutely brilliant. Oh God, the music started. That means I've got to shut up.
That's his way of saying get on with it.
Please do.
Mate, thanks again. You take care.
Thanks, Anders.
And ride
Thank
safely.
you.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Good night, all.
Good night, everybody.
Enjoy your stay. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. What's the news today? Have a drink, have your say. All opinions here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay. Willie, GA, and Matt are here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Come and have your say.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
The Real Housewives is a guilty pleasure for most, but if you're looking to not feel guilty about that pleasure, tune in to Everything Iconic with me, Danny Pellegrino, where I break down all the messy moments and behind-the-scenes antics of Bravo's popular franchise. And on Everything Iconic, I also interview celebrity guests like Kelly Ripa, Keke Palmer, Drew Barrymore, Cameron Diaz, and more about their guilty pleasures, their past work, and so much more. So if you're pop culture obsessed and find yourself watching way too much reality TV like me, tune in to Everything Iconic with Danny Pellegrino, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.